morning, Ulu. Alright. Okay, final patch of Dawn Trail. I am excited. I saw Cider Spider giving, like, his own predictions for what's gonna happen in the final, patch, and I should, I kind of want to give my own too, I suppose. I'm really, if you couldn't tell by the title, there's like, it seems to be an even split between people who think that Sphene is going to join the Scions, and people who believe that Sphene is the new Moenbryda. They spent an entire patch cycle getting us to care about her, only to kill her this patch cycle. And I really hope that doesn't happen. I like Sphene. So, fingers crossed. Ulu, if you've already beaten the story, you do not spoil this for me. And then everyone's assuming that the final boss is going to be Necron, because that would just seem like an apt thing to do. And I kind of hope that it's not. Well, I don't know. I don't hope that it's not. But, like, they haven't shown anything about the final boss. X happens after Y, and that leads to Z. God damn it. Necron would make sense. There's a part of me that's just expecting it to be kind of a red herring. I'm just not sure. If Necron is the final boss, I do hope he just kind of comes out of complete nowhere. And because in Final Fantasy IX, you're out fighting Kuja, and then this Eldritch Horror shows up. There's not a lot of explanation for it. So, yeah, I guess my only prediction is I really hope that Sphene doesn't die. I think that'd be so lame if they killed Sphene. I swear I had other predictions. My brain is not recalling them. So we're just gonna get back to the game. Alright. Also, Sphene's gonna be a summoner. I said it last time, but Sphene said she needed her grimoire. First to healing magics. Time is process to we require my abilities, but necessary one dare not rush, even if there's no telling when Calyx make his next move. No! Be a summoner! You better summon Alexander! That's my thing. I want Sphene to summon Alexander. Maybe not the one that can time travel, but give me make her a summoner. Okay. Hi, Shale. We have a moment. Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking in the finer details of certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. And that conversation is going to be a recap of everything that happened in the last patch, because it's been, like, 3 or 4 months. Sorry to drag you in our meeting, but we need to get a better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state of the funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us as well, and also the players at home who have been waiting like 3 months. First things first, then, let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. and while these malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and deaths. But you haven't heard anything about new incidents since then, right? Right. No additional reports have been logged as far as I know. That's the good news. The bad news is, I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they won't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. When things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons, but if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The King of Resolve's authority is about the highest there is. Who's this man that can override it with such impunity? Calyx. He lived in the age of the Storm Surge, as I did. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancement in electro technology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease which afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless that he might continue his efforts to the present day. Preservation's early goals seemed noble enough, exploring treatments for Levin sickness, designing Everkeep's core system, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? I did not pretend to fully understand Calyx's motivations, only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated, and that evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. We've already seen how he's employed the simulant to commit. That's my other prediction. My other prediction is that Calyx is trying to make a simulant of the Warrior of Light, which is why I'm also like, maybe the final fight's not Necron. Maybe it's simulant us. I don't know how that would work, but I heard someone say Calyx is trying to make a simulant of the Warrior of Light, and I think that'd be really cool. We've already seen how he's employed the simulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is their only hope for survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who register their neo-regulators. This is merely one part of Calyx's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the reflections and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. Again, I don't think I should have this on me. Give it to fucking... I trust it more in the hands of Y'shtola, and she could take it back to Charlian and study it there. And then Calyx can't get it, and, like... I don't think that he's gonna be able... He could send somebody to Charlian or something, but... Other side of the planet, you know? Like... Or go to the moon! Be like, hey, Y'shtola, take this to the moon. Go research this on the moon. Fucking Calyx can't get to you there. He has to get all the way to Garlemald. Nobody wants to fucking go to Garlemald. He wants to get a fusion with the relic in his hand. You draw ether from the reflections and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. If we mean to foil Calyx's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down. Which, unfortunately, is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep, but I've failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Could he perhaps be in the Meso terminal? I need a little more time, though, and I'm sure I could sniff him out. I'll help you. I have a hacker brain. I used a screenshot of Norman Reedus to get around age verification. When Galulja and Shell are working together like that, I'm going to take a look around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up, as well as search for any information that might lead us to Calyx. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. I don't know, it's been like 3 months and everything's been pretty chill. Count me in. Relha and the others are helping Oblivion patrol the other levels of the keep. So shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan. Thanks, you two. Appreciate the company. I have to speak to the city's administrators about bringing in the Landsguard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving into Tuliolo. Alphino and Alice will be joining me in the meeting, for the meeting, so the three of us can cover that sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Missing's group, if you'll have me. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thank you. I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. You'll change your tune once we get back with the goods on Calyx. Then the drinks are on you. Come on, let's continue this outside. Good luck with your patrol, and take your time. We can do without Geode until you're done with the old sot. Sorry, just when I think I've internalized better manners, talking with Geode brings out the old bad habits. I wish you could grow up faster. There'd be so much more I can do when I'm bigger like you. The city looks as though it's regained a sense of normalcy. Alas, the people will not soon forget recent events. I'll do my utmost to ensure the happiness of Alexandria and its people. Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? Are you alright? Me? I'm well enough, given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. And the moment mortality once again becomes an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It's only natural that such thoughts come to mind. Aisha, thank you so much for the follow. What I cannot forgive is the way that Calyx wields fear and misery to manipulate the people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And do you think we can handle that responsibility after everything you've seen of us? It's what I've seen that has convinced me you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Well then. We'd best not let you down. Now I suggest we move as a group. We don't know if or when a battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared for just such an eventuality. Yeah! Please tell me she's a summoner. Is that a grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? Be a summoner. Don't be a scholar, be a summoner. Yes, my parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. Was his name Professor Tot? If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. 2 would certainly be more efficient for information gathering. I guess that makes sense. 2 of you can take the west side of the recreation zone then. This and I'll take the east. Very well. We shall end our patrol in the plaza just past Trueview and await you there. Yo! Well, let's do the rounds then. We'll see what's what and chat to the people we meet along the way. Pay special attention to anyone who looks overwhelmed or overly excited. Hopefully that'll learn us a tidbit or 2 we didn't know before. Yeah, I know that. I know this. We've done this before. Why are you giving me the tutorial now? This is like the 3rd patch. I can't have story skipped to this point. The Grimoire is inlaid with electrope in a manner which augments arcane power. That should be a useful tool. Keep my eyes and ears open. Any information could be helpful, no matter how seemingly insignificant. Yes, I just want a summoner buddy. I want a canonical summoner buddy in Sphene. Yeah, no, this is story. I got my hands on a neo-regulator, and then came this close to crashing into a hover cargo. The day becoming endless can't come soon enough. I only hope that I live that long. Are the sentries and air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again, and maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a neo-regulator. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen Sphene said so. Ah, the memories. I used to drink it around here all the time. Made sure not to overdo it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning. Or afternoon. Worst I ever got was on what should be the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regulator back then. It was also the day of first... Oh! So, like, somebody died. Somebody close to you died and you don't know. Damn. It was also the first day I met Shale, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Ooh, that's some... There's some implications with that. Jeez. Nice. Why is we in such a fine mood, you ask? Well, I've just registered my new regulator. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through with the registration, I've never felt more at ease. Also, once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, over 3,800 have already been filled. So if you're still hesitant, you've not much time left to make your mind up. Mark my words, friend, when there's only a few slots left, it's gonna get very ugly. Are there any other talking points? No. You want to hear my story? Well, I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear. There's not much to tell. If you must know, a good friend of mine died when those machines went crazy. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky and he didn't survive the crash. Damn fool wasn't wearing a regulator. I know that's not so strange these days, but he never bothered with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant until it happened. A word? I feel like there was a new factor in these stories we've heard, one we hadn't considered during our discussion with everyone in the back room. That a victim of the violence wasn't wearing a regulator? That's it. The vast majority of the residents have always worn regulators, so it's a detail we'd normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attacks and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Let's ask around on the street over to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but maybe we find eyewitnesses who can help us confirm if this is a pattern or not. Let me see something really quick. Okay, I have 1,000 trophy crystals. I'm curious. I'm looking at this guy's outfit. No, I can't leave. Geo. I wanted to run to the Wolves Den and see if I could buy the new outfits, but I actually don't know how much they cost anyway. It's fine. Let's go around this way. Oh, new talking point. It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who'd jump for joy when we brought in packages, the old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. They'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Hello, how are you today? Please let me know if I may be of service. Citywide casual data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Can you narrow it down to the recreation zone then? You must have some estimates on your hand. Recalibrating parameters. Injured, 87 individuals. Casualties, 19 individuals. Casualties equipped with regulators, 0. You wish to know if the people who died in the machine rampage were wearing regulators? I'm sorry, but I was assigned to clearing away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assumed the ushers had already done their work. I do remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up, but nothing else worthy of mention. I think it's time we rejoin Tural and Sphene. I was half joking with my boast to Shale, but we may have stumbled upon something major here. We should share our findings and keep pursuing this avenue of inquiry. Didn't Tural say to meet them in the plaza outside of Trueview? Let's get going. Oh, wait, there's a little... Oh! That's why it redisplayed it. There's now a little thingy that can re-explain what the fuck an escort mission is. Summoner on Missing. I've got Viper as my DPS class, which I'm trying to level up. I just got him to 90. My tank on Missing is Gunbreaker, but I haven't tanked in a bit. Yeah, no, people turn into Undertale corpses now. It's fine, it's probably normal. We finished our patrol as well. Did it not seem that more people wanted neo-regulators than before? So essentially, you're saying that people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators? Well, the numbers are still tentative and only apply to that one zone, but we don't know how they'll stack up against overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. I think it's safe to say that anyone who had removed the regulator was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Based solely on the lack of a neo-regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become an endless, or if they simply failed to acquire one of the limited devices. Well, she's saying that people weren't wearing regulators, period. Those who wear no regulator at all, they've clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people would wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. And so Calyx has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. There's no need to kill anyone. With the way things were, people were already fearful enough. He could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. You make a good point. Perhaps this sowing of terror is in the service to another scheme, or he has some other need for the lives he's taken. Yeah, why does everybody turn to dust? Or the dust found at various sites? Right. The sanitation worker stories. She saw no bodies, but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust but not bodies? Where have we heard that before? Do you recall when we went to save Arendelle from the sentries in the outskirts? That Usher Malachite told us the same thing. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust, which the wind quickly scattered. Confused, I questioned the residents, but none knew what had become of it. Narrowing down my classes after 80. Dark Knight, Astro, Scholar, Summoner, Machinist, Samurai. Second choice, which I might keep leveling. Make an alt Paladin, White Mage, Monk, Dancer. Red Major, Picto made a very good first impression. Yeah, I've given up on getting any of the level everything to 100 achievements, given that I have 3 characters. That both stories speak of missing remains suspicion enough, but the shared mention of this dust is too much to ignore. In that case, we should confirm if this substance was present at other sites and attempt to ascertain its nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation for the missing bodies, but also the intent behind Calix's murderous actions. We need your help. I've lost control over the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? Damn it, our new investigation will have to wait. Let's go. Oh, its head's fully backwards.
Stay back! Stay away from me!
Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Oh no, they're gonna kill Isadora and Sad Child.
Go to them, quickly!
Your Stola and Crowley sent the bulk of the game dedicated healers will be swapping classes with no healing whatsoever. Oh my god, does Isadora have a gun? No, it's nostalgia. That's nostalgia, right? I think.
Wayakwe!
Oh, Wayakwe. Nostalgia's the other one.
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape.
Isadora. Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
I wonder if I would have joined in if I was a healer.
Thank you, miss. Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
Promise of tomorrow. Yeah, I really hope they don't kill Sphene. I'm seeing people predicting it. I don't want them to kill Sphene. Especially since we've already killed Sphene twice. I don't want them to kill Sphene. She should recover in due course. I'm glad we arrived when we did. Arcanist and Scholar got the heals. Well, I also have heals too, technically. I just never fucking use them because it's scaled off mind and I'm int boy. When I was sick and couldn't move, my mother was always at my side, always keeping me company, and I'm gonna do the same for her. Also, I can summon, Solar Bahamut gives me Lux Solaris, and Phoenix gives me heals. So, I have heals. I can res people. Forgive me, I was reckless. You shouldn't have had to waste time tending to my wounds as well. Did you see your other comrade back there? He stayed behind the lobby, but I heard sounds of fighting. I'm sorry, he must have fallen protecting the residents. But no, Phoenix gives regen. Lux Solaris is like a big heal. So I do have healing. It's not my focus, but I have a couple buttons that heal people. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he's wounded or worse, I should go to him. Are we gonna name this man? Wait, it isn't safe and you still need rest. Would you stay with Milos and watch over his door for me? We will tend to your friend. Thank you. Please be careful yourself. Why is this happening? Man, this is awful. Isadora's gonna be alright then. I'm so glad. I've just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. big flaming bird, when the point of Bahamut raids is that the existence of Phoenix needs to be kept secret. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, the fact that I feel like the fact that Louis Sois turned into Phoenix should be secret. But like, I feel like Phoenix the entity isn't that crazy. Like, is a concept people understand. It's like, I've just manifested this bird that gives life that everyone believes in. Clearly people believed in it because Louis Sois turned into it. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry was behaving normally like any other, and then all of a sudden it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to murder. Is it over? We came as soon as Waiakwe sent word. Thought they implied that if Phoenix were summoned at all, then some version of Louis Sois would come with it. I might have to redo the. It's been a long time since the Bahamut raids. I think the worry is they wouldn't want. I think that's basically it. Is like they wouldn't want people summoning Phoenix in the hopes that it would bring back Louis Sois. Well, it's weird because Louis Sois says, I distinctly remember the line that Louis Sois says that there are people in this world who have the ability to summon like small versions of Primal. He alludes to summoners existing, and he tells Alice, like, if he ever wants to see her again, like, oh, you could just learn to do that. He basically tells his grandkids that they could summon Phoenix if they wanted to hang out with him. So I don't know. I'm sorry, by the time we arrived, it was already too late. Then Geo could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? Possibly. We're not sure what, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector, though. At least we can regain control over the sentry. At least until we can regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree. Since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then they can be prime targets for the next attack. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Our thanks. Here, take these communicators. We've made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and I've been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. This is like a new version of the Dawn Trail theme. I don't think I've heard this before. Waiakwe has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck, and stay safe. Geode said he would sweep the surrounding area, so we shouldn't venture too far. Let's get going. Oh, hi. What armor are you wearing? Oh, this is the Dark Divinity. This is that one PvP armor set, wasn't it? All right. Actually, let me run to Wolves Den really quick. I could have saved some money by warping to my house first, but it's fine. Everyone's here for the same reason. Universal Gear 2? No. Universal Gear 1? Is this it? Critical hit. Okay. I don't have enough money for any of these. Dang. This feels very lightning put on... Okay, so this actually does have... does cover things a little bit. I could maybe put Mavic in this? I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know if I need any of this right now anyway. Alright, cool. I just wanted to come and see that. Let's head back to Solution 9. See no sign of Geode. Perhaps you should search further to the east. I can't parkour over that. Okay. Let's search around the apartments first. Waiakoi's voice crackles forth from the communicator. Geode! Geode, answer me! There's no response. Perhaps you could continue your search further to the east. See no sign of Geode. The neighboring residential radius would be the next logical place to look.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods!
Unfortunately, they're all gone.
Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it. Dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells.
Oh no, it's old man from the Hildebrand quests. You're not supposed to run out of ammo. I never run out of ammo. I mean, I guess you need to... And actually, no, there is that point when you're in your cooldown where you no longer have, like, the ricochet shots, but...
Damn you!
Dismantle. He used dismantle.
You can't be here! You need to run, now!
Oh.
A trap! Take care of the others, eh?
There are mods that let you change your summons, and I've debated never doing such a thing because that would be illegal and Yoshi P wouldn't approve.
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe? Geode!
Are they draining his body as we speak? Yeah.
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
I wouldn't.
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years.
I feel like that's a
Our
little...
bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now? I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promise to halt my harvest?
Good. Yeah, I'll hold your harvest by defeating you. I don't trust it. Also, yeah, you'd just be stealing. You'd be going after people. Like, I made friends in the first. I got friends who had with a friend with a cool hat on the 13th.
I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
Again, I should give the key to Y'shtola and have her just chill on the moon. Also, weren't you gonna, like, take the cell back? What's your earring? It's like a level 50 earring or something? Level 50, level 60? No words. Is there a pile of dust over here too? Yeah. I actually haven't really liked any of the Mogtome earrings. They're a bit too quirky, you know? This pile of dust, these ashes. And the soul cell he left behind, was that his twisted way of returning Geode to us? Damn you, Calyx, damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 Endless could continue their immortal lives. And if a reflection's stolen ether followed for many more Endless, why that would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? Not I. Certainly not I. We know only too well that there is not noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession. It falls to us. We will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before we can terrorize innocence and reflections elsewhere. Again, we should just not have the key on us. It shouldn't be here. We should put it somewhere else. You hold on to Geode's gun. If you could take the soul cell, please. Yeah, no, that's the... Yeah, no, just go... Well, I can't... No. I could take it to the first. And I guess we could have, like... Yeah, just take it to the first and give it to Beck Lug. Yeah, just take it to the first, give it to Beck Lug to research. That would be, like, the best option. I was thinking bring it to the moon. Mostly I wanted to give it to Y'shtola because she would actually understand how to research it. And I was thinking give it to Y'shtola and have Y'shtola chill on the moon. But actually, yeah, just going into the first, be like, ah, hey, it's on another reflection. You know that thing that you can't get to without the key? We should return to the back room. Shale and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wyakway to meet us there as well. They have to be depositing the cells somewhere, though, right? Like, he has to be obtaining them somehow.
Our dear Geode. The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless.
Okay, Nostalgia's the one
Why
with the long
force his
hair.
plans upon us when we're already happy, living our lives? What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him. Wait, where are you going? To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure Nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But
Yeah, this is the last post on Trail patch.
not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
You're just hoping it's Mericidia. Okay. I don't know if I've mentioned it on stream before, but I really hope that like if/when we go to Mericidia, because Mericidia is Australia, I want Australian accent dragons. I want dragons that have Australian accents. Give them to me. Anyway, let's continue. I assume you know better by now, but I hope you're not planning to try anything alone. We're all here with you. I've spoken with Rook Lamat. They've cut their meeting short to deal with the aftermath of this latest violence. I'm told that the members tasked with keeping residents safe return with the body of their comrade. That they all risked so much. Made a swift patrol of the other levels and confirmed that Calyx had carried out a number of targeted attacks. All to harvest more ether, it seems. I got back control of the sentries, probably around the same time Calyx left. I'm sorry I couldn't stop him. Elganote. That Geode's gun, its rounds were spent and its barrel was scorched, so you can be sure he was sent out. He went down fighting. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode was an older brother than nostalgia in me. Shell knew him longer, though, and is surely taken it the hardest. And that's on top of what happened with Kakiwa. Do you think that you could go check on her? See how she's doing? She's like to put on a brave face if it's me or my sister. Oh, Shale. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with the hunt for Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. As you said, you need time to work through it. Grief is a bitch. You're right. I ought to heed my own words. As it stands, I'm of no use to anyone. Kakiwa used to say that the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you have a shoulder to spare. Right then, let's get out of Everkeep for a bit. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air-wheelers. They've had their communications modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we're off. We'll be flying close to the pylon, so follow my lead. These air-wheelers are Gnault's babies. You won't find a smoother ride in all of Everkeep. For years now, I've been taking one out for a turn whenever I needed to lighten my mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too, and we'd end up racing. Does that surprise you? Our friendship's always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground's clear before you touch down. That'll clear my head a touch. You know, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. I mean, I feel like I'm technically part of Oblivion at this point. As far as I remember, at least. The memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully the way will be clear of pests today. Nope. Looks like the way is, in fact, not clear of pests. Just our luck. Nice. You usually avoid such encounters, but sometimes they wander in and block the only path. Not that it slowed you down at all. I've never seen a fight up close before, and the surveillance feed certainly didn't do it justice. Hopefully that keeps our route clear for a while, shall we?
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
I will in spirit. What? Why would I say I will in spirit? I mean, I guess if your warrior of light doesn't drink, but then I would just have water or something. It's fine. To Geode's memory. I don't drink, but I'll still raise a glass.
Oh. What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization.
And the founders were Krell's parents, right?
You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it.
Didn't Krell's... Wasn't
You're
it Krell?
keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. that sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I'd recently lost someone close to me. I'd also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything.
Okay, so it was more wholesome that they don't remember. Wholesome in the sense that they were just really
we were
drunk.
both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine. That was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Why would they?
Thus were my parents and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together.
What would have?
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
So, how though did Oblivion end? The original one, because clearly it wasn't like the government wiped them out. I mean, I guess possibly, but, like, their hideout was still intact. And all of their records were still there. And you'd think that if it was, like, they were forcibly destroyed, all of their stuff would have gotten destroyed as well. I don't know.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
Appreciate you helping me through this. And not only the grief, you've helped me see that my comrades mean more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part, and then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. Simon went back to locating Calyx's lair. I have a new strategy in mind, but it remains to be seen if it will aid in narrowing down the possibilities. I'll ask Tural for help. I want to re-examine the data, starting with that of her parents. After all, they were the first to break away from preservation and establish an organized resistance with Oblivion. There must be something in there that can point us in the right direction. What are your plans? I think they're about to be communicated to me. Is that you? Apologies for calling so suddenly. I've been making the rounds in the outskirts, and I cannot help but feel as though something's amiss. Might I ask you to join me? Your perspective would be most appreciated. It can wait until you've finished attending to Shale, of course. It seems your plans have been decided for you. Go on. I have others to speak with before I head into the back room. Won't be the same without Geode around. Actually, can I just... Well, oh no, they're in the outskirts. Outskirts. This music is totally chill. Hi, Bokoakwe. Welcome to the outskirts. We don't have much to offer. Make yourself at home. No, it's fine. Thank you for coming. As I mentioned, it would benefit. I benefit from your worldly experience. Perhaps it's my imagination, but the townspeople appear to be acting oddly. That is, even considering the current state of affairs. I'm as yet unfamiliar with the outskirts. I thought you might be better equipped to judge if their behaviors are unusual or not. Would you speak with them and see what you think? Though I hope you've proven wrong, I fear something's not right here. please tell me you brought more neo-regulators. Officially, they've all been handed out already, but I've heard rumors that there were a few left over. Surely the government still has some, or perhaps Queen Sphene? I may not look it, but I was a hunter once. Back then, I hardly gave death a second thought, but now that I know the truth, it's all I can think about. There has to be a way to hold on. There has to. Greetings. I remember when you visited with Queen Sphene. Come to check on her well-being, have you? Well, I can say things are rather stressful out here. Without knowing if or when the machinery might turn murderous, the specter of death is ever present. People are terrified, and the clamor for neo-regulators has reached a fever pitch. I, personally, was fortunate to have claimed a new device early on, and have long since completed the registration. Death has no hold over me now. Now, I must begin my prayers. The darkness draws closer, grows deeper, and we must... The darkness draws closer, grows deeper, and we must call out... Sir? I must pray. Sir? The darkness? Yeah, there's some Necron bullshit happening. Is it Necron? I want, if it's Necron, I want him to come out of fucking nowhere. I want him to just kind of appear with no explanation, just like he does in Final Fantasy IX. Like, ah, yes. You were fighting that bitch boy Kuja, and now I am here, because humanity yearns for death. Ew, you're not wearing a regulator. Don't you know the end is coming? Well, it's your life to lose. Me? I've got one of these neo-regulators and registered a little while ago. As soon as I did, a display appeared showing the number of registered users. Right now, it's sitting at 4,168. The upper limit is 5,000, wasn't it? Seems the total shot shot up right after those machine malfunctions. It's only a matter of time before everyone's registered. I pity those who weren't chosen, but I'm going to be an endless. I'm going to evolve and live happily ever after. Hi, there was one who was talking about the darkness? Sphene? Someone was talking about the darkness, and I'm a little concerned. Do you think I was right to worry? Their fear is palpable. That's exactly it. People are overwhelmed by an uncertainty and fear, and with each new registration, that fear inside them grows more insistent. How long until it drives them into a full-blown panic? I'm more concerned about the man praying to the darkness. Can you come to resolution? We have a problem. I'm already here with Lamachi and Alphino. Sounds like she wants us there in a hurry. We should go.
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion. Though you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Calyx.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance, will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
That's how you oh yeah, the pray for it bit. Necron's going to be a primal.
You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tural.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us?
Well, as long as you're wearing regulators,
Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Just so you know, reincarnation is a thing that scientifically exists here.
That regulator.
Also, like, again, you will reincarnate at some point. You'll come back, it'll be fine.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulisyola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
Also, should we just go to the Meso terminal to check it out now that it's on that big TV screen? I get that I'm operating with the knowledge that the dungeon of this patch is the Meso terminal, but like, I feel like that's one of the first places I'd check. Apologies, the sign is not responding to any of our attempts to change the display or switch it off. Why don't we smash it then? Will it respond to violence? Will it respond to me shattering it? Clearly it's defective. We should trash it and get a new one. Later, once I've kicked Calyx's teeth in. First those deadly malfunctions, and now a citywide announcement. He has spent more the considerable effort recruiting his 5,000 endless, perhaps more than necessary. We had the hopefuls who descended on Lamachie dispersed for now. We could see tempers in the crowd were starting to fray. This latest wave of attacks may not have been as widespread, but people are reaching their breaking point. We have to stop Calyxon soon. Calyx has access to the core system, which means that if he chooses so, he can deploy the soldiers beyond the barrier. Even if our people were to live with death and decide to leave the dome behind, they will not be beyond his reach. Yet if it serves to allay their fears even a little, I beg you, Wuklama, please shelter them in Tuliolal. We'll welcome any and all who wish to come. We've already begun evacuations, and we'll be able to pick up the pace once the Landsguard arrives. And every person in history, at least in the Sundering, has dealt with that. It isn't some new and special revelation that you are the first people to ever deal with, yes. Well, these people... story stuff, these people have not understood the concept of death their entire lives. They have lived in a society that deletes the concept of death from their brain. So they are the first to comprehend death in this specific place. In which case, we had best spread out and keep an eye on the crowds. The mood is tense and we must prepare for possible violence. If you happen to determine where Calyx is hiding, though, we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice. Surely we'll find a clue of some kind soon. It can't elude us forever. I don't severe. This is not the future she envisioned for our nation. Yeah, it is a little bit. You have so much of yourselves to aid those in need. I must endeavor to find my own small way to help. I want you to join the Scions, Sphene. I want you to live, I want you to survive this patch, and I want you to join the Scions. To the Yola will be gladly welcome every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what of the nation the late Queen was so desperate to preserve? What of that bright haven of peace and laughter? I won't stand here and let her legacy be sullied any further. I'll protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both feel the people's joy as our own, yet alone we lack the strength to protect them. There is so much that I love in this world, too much for me to take in my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared that love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wish that we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore that I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sphene. Whenever you follow struggle to rise, I'll come running to the rescue. And you do the same for me. That's how we protect the things we love. That's how we protect Alexandria. You're right. Don't forget about me! I am also here. How could we? We'd not be where we are without you. Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. We should probably be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shale needs a hand? There you all are. Galulja. Ah, splendid. We were afraid we'd miss you. Alice and the others said you were here. Good news. We found a chink in Calyx's armor. We discovered laboratories on Everkeep's 10th level that once housed a preservation initiative. Containment Complex 1029 it's called, and it's been falsely registered as a distribution center. In reality, it hasn't recorded any traffic in decades. We don't think this is where Calyx is hiding as such, but it may well contain clues that will point us in the right direction. I'm sorry it took so long to get this far. If you're interested, what do you say we all go check it out together? Thank you all for your hard work. This is a huge step forward. Again, can we just smash this screen? If you can't turn it off, let's just smash it. And up, we need to take the lift to get to the complex. I've cleared the expedition with the relevant authorities and have one of our people waiting to operate said lift. Let's not keep her waiting. Preservation laboratories. I shudder to think what they were researching, but this is no time to be squeamish. An institute on preservation scale would have many such facilities in the city, yet I cannot help but wonder if this is the one where my parents worked. Shale made me her assistant. She said she was teaching me the basics of data management. Sounds like Galulja played a big part in this breakthrough. I'll be sure to treat him to a fine feast when this is all over. I'll share the method we used to find the containment complex once we're inside. It wasn't actually all that different to the story of how we stumbled across the back room. I've heard that Dawn Trail is a very divisive expansion. I've heard two theories about why. According to some who counted every line in the game, Wuklamat has... Yeah, in one expansion, like 2-pad. Yes. I don't know if that chart is Wuklamat's lines, period, or I think it's just Alphino and Alisae's lines in the expansion itself. But yes, she speaks more than every Scion in the expansion. She's so omnipresent and obsessively chatty that whether you like the story depends on whether you like her specifically. Yeah, basically. And also the pacing is a little bit weird. I've been enjoying the post-Dawn Trail patches a bit better. I also did love the main story, though, but that was also because it was the first expansion I was ever just current for.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark, I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit...
You got the lights working!
Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Tural and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City. As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
So I took a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
I didn't find it. It was a fun kind of hard. That's not a problem with Dawn Trail. It was a fun kind of difficult. Sounds like you need one of Genolt's energy tonics.
Those concoctions would probably do me more harm than good, but I appreciate the sentiment. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx.
We're more than happy to help, of course. But I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
Yeah, the people who are complaining about Dawn Trail being too hard, it's like, we're level 100. It's supposed to be difficult. Need to pick up Calyx's trail. Learned of a certain device that should help us do just that. I'll explain how we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. As for where that might be, this map matches my data. This room we're in is the Researchers' Commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is the northeast of here. We should cut across the circular chamber in the middle, yes? We should, but... fortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We'll need a security key with the appropriate clearance to open it. Judging by the mechanism, it'll probably be a card of some kind. Can't you, work some electrope magic? I'll try my best, but this type of lock is well before my time. It may take a while to crack it. And in case I can't, you might want to look around and see if anyone left a security card around. Considering the state of the place, it does seem like they abandoned it in some haste. I shouldn't be surprised if we found one. Very well. Let's get to searching, shall we? I expect we'll have most of our looking where the researchers kept their personal belongings. Helpful hints will appear in different colors. Okay. Lore. Few documents sit in an untidy stack upon the desk. You find no security cards hidden among them. But I know, what do the documents say, though? Terminal screen displays what appears to be the next page of an employee manual. For security reasons, Containment Complex 1029 has been registered as a materials distribution center. Keep this in mind and conduct yourself accordingly, both inside and outside the facility. Each employee must perform their tasks with the designated workroom within their designated workrooms. The Researchers' Commons is a proto lab, or the Tural lab entrance to another workroom without official clearance is strictly forbidden. Carry your security card at all times. Your clearance level dictates the areas to which you have access. Equip your regulator at all times. Due to a highly confidential nature of this research materials and other data managed within this complex, preservation retains the ownership of and the rights to modify the memories of all registered personnel. Access denied. Please log in with your personnel account view. Complex Director Demetrius, Protolab Chief Esopher, Deuterolab Chief Redacted, probably Calyx, I'm assuming. Few indecipherable notes remain pinned to this notice board, but nothing that resembles a security card. This small shelving unit holds some office supplies and a little else of note. Appears that to be the only desk with drawers that are already open. You can tell at a glance the desk's former owner has left some things behind. Nope, that sounds to me like it's the correct thing to do. Perhaps the recruiters got their personal belongings at their workstations? Yep. Look, so far, this bin had nothing in it at all. No, there's always something if you check the trash can, Wooklamot. The arcane circuits here in use here are decades old. I'll keep at it, but the security card might be the only way we're going to pass this lock anytime soon. Was this really a preservation laboratory? I thought there'd be something more, I don't know, special about it. These shelves are almost entirely bare, but I'll examine files to be certain. You scan the bin's interior hoping to find some card-shaped rubbish, but it appears to be empty. Nothing in there? I know! I want to read everything! You discover a card-shaped object. The electric surface is marked with a bold level 1. That could be what we're looking for. Try it on the door and see if it opens. You hold the card-shaped object up to the scanner. It's open. You did it. Good thing, too. I was getting nowhere with that outdated circuit. Curious, though. Why would they abandon a facility like this? It was run by a Director Demetrius, or so that terminal over there told me. Perhaps there are more answers to be had once we venture further inside. Let's continue onwards. The door to the Director's office is around the central hub. Hang on. Do I have clearance to read the research objectives? Nope. Not a single soul here besides us. Going by the room labels on the map, we haven't entered any of the actual labs yet. There must be a door to the director's office. Go on, try the card. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. Saver room can be accessed from this hub. Oh, what do you have to say, Shale? We can try the same card again, but... Scanner beeps in disapproval. No good? Maybe we need a different card? Scanner's demanding a level 3 security clearance to open the lock. As much as the delay chafes me, we'll have to comb through the nearby rooms until we hope we stumble upon the card we need. Let's start our search in the proto lab. The door's already open, at least. Find a way through together. I'm sure of it. Please excuse my impatience. The means to track down Calyx are close, and I'm itching to get my hands on them. I dug through this data tablet and found a journal. I'll read it to you. The results of experiment 158 show a marked improvement in ether extraction rates. At last, we have achieved the target value set by Master Calyx. Though I'll become endless as per our ascendancy protocols, I will preserve this historic number along with my few remaining worldly ethics. Preserve the number. 158 is important. Used to be a researcher's personal data tablet. Skim through the entries? Yeah. Today I began my oh, I should have read other people's things. Today I began my employment of preservation. The organization was unfamiliar to me, but when the recruitment letter arrived, I had a gut feeling that this work would be far more fulfilling than any orthodox medical practice. My instincts were correct. Master Calyx's philosophy is the refined ideal of notions that I've only ever vaguely entertained, that mankind must evolve beyond the shackles of its flesh and blood existence. I had a meeting with Director Demetrius today. I've heard others praise his genius intellect, and he seems to be a guttering candle in comparison to Master Calyx's blinding brilliance. This morning I was permitted to access the top floor and observe the workings of living memory. As predicted, the shortage of ether required to sustain the Endless is reaching critical levels, yet Queen Sphene insists on continuing her ineffectual flailing. Our Malala colleagues, including the Pearl Lab Chief, have been behaving in a decidedly suspicious manner of late. Should I report my concerns to the Director? From tomorrow, I have been assigned to assist with the research products in the Tural lab. We are scheduled to conduct a major experiment, the details of which I have been kept ignorant. It would seem prudent to back up my memory data. This machine feeds into a soul cell. I'm reminded of my imprisonment by the Empire. Surely this device wasn't made to hold people. These notes seem to be about the research they did in here. Let's take a look. Experiment 148, bidding interference candidate 2019-30 to be considered for efficiency procedure review. Experiment 158, maximum value of 11509 recorded. Comparative study to be included in the report. Alright then. And one more. Experiment 163, new proposal to be produced as a result of 9834, decreased value verified. Well, I have no idea what any of that means. Maybe it'll make sense later on? The way this room is set up, the canister inserted in that large device looks to be a soul cell. Could this be where they conducted their experiments to create the Endless? We could probably spend days investigating this complex. Finding a way into the Director's office must take precedence. Speaking of which, Gululja mentioned a lock over the corner that he couldn't open. Perhaps we could take a look. Experiment 158. Lock type, member pad, showing us put in the correct combination. You have gleaned some numerical data in your investigation. Yeah. I think it's gonna be 158. All right, you gave me like 8 billion numbers, Wuklamot. What's the correct one? Interference candidate. Maximum value of 11509. $11509, because that is 5 digits. There we go. Locker pops open. Inside you discover a level 2 security card. Get the locker open. You found another security card. Does it say level 2? We need a level 3, didn't we? Yes, but it should open up more doors for us to explore. You did well. These preservation members led such surprisingly normal lives. Leaving notes, losing their cards. I guess I imagine they'd be more... What's the word? Bloodless? Mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you'll recall. It would seem the researchers who agreed with Calyx and his philosophy underwent the conversion to endless entities. But I assume those who could not, or would not, eventually left the organization altogether. I almost forgot. The researchers kept journals in their data tablets. The one I read doesn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex, and afterwards it was decided that everyone would become endless. The writer was really happy about this. You could tell how much they admired Calyx and his work. The entries ended after that, but maybe you could read more into it on that tablet there. Alright, let's move into the investigation into another room. We have the Tural lab and the maintenance facilities left to search. Both are accessed via the southeast corridor. Let's go back to the hub and the locked door across the way, which will hopefully yield before our new security card. I'll take the old one if you like. I doubt we'll have much more use for it. This tablet? Okay. Galulja is just telling us not to ignore the data tablet. Okay. If there were others beside my parents who left preservation, where might they be now? It seems not everyone who joined preservation became endless right away. There must have been research that required physical bodies. The scanner awaits. Hold the security card to the panel. What else do they have in this place? If I read the map right, it must be a lot smaller than the Ueawada facility. Calyx hasn't bothered to show his face yet. Maybe he hasn't noticed us, or maybe he's just watching and waiting, commiserating. Where should we go first? The Tural lab or the facilities? Let's start with the lab. Sorry, you told me that I'm supposed to... You said start with the Tural lab, but I want to start in the place that you told me not to go to. Unless I'm not allowed to click on things, so, I guess we will go to the Tural lab. What is it, Galulja? Shouldn't the security card open this door as easily as the last one? That's strange. The door's not lit up like the others. What's this sign say? There doesn't seem to be any power here. Not at all. It's possibly the energy supply for this room's on a separate conduit, which means there should be a contingency for opening the door. Look here, there's a sign above the card scanner. In case of emergency, backup power can be rerouted from facilities. Facilities room's down the other branch of the corridor. Oh good, the terminal's lit up. That means we have power in this room. The Tural lab must have required greater amounts of energy to operate. What kind of experiments were they conducting here? There's some big flashy floor tiles. I wonder what they're for. A puzzle, probably. This room was for managing the power supply and utilities. I hope they kept security cards in here as well. Engaging power supply? No good. It's turning an error. There must be a preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, if the power supply has been interrupted for an extended period of time, then we need to reconfigure both an emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, that's the emergency generator over there, isn't it? By the looks of it, it's the same model as the one used in Heritage Found. How does one send power to the other lab? I see. The energy cable attached to the base of this terminal leads down the hall directly to the Tural lab. Which means we need a way to connect the generator to that cable. What about these patterns on the floor? Could this be the circuit we need to reconfigure? But you have the right of it. Using control panels set into each of the tiles, I can recreate an unbroken path of power to flow. Well, I wouldn't give her an instruction manual. Indeed, if you could look around for any written procedures, I'll keep digging through the terminal directories. Maybe I also ask someone to operate the generator. I can do it. I've used that type of machine before. Then would you be willing to try and reconfigure the circuit path? The rest of us can help by supplying Missing with whatever information might be found in the circuitry configuration. I mean, I'm assuming I just use this to rotate things, right? Which tile pattern will you set? Oh, okay. I see. I think I see what I have to do. I was able to glimpse at a part of a warning sign behind the containers. From what I can read, it said, "Caution circuit will not function with duplicate patterns." Okay, you can only have one of each circuitry pattern. Okay. Generator doesn't seem to need any fancy settings. As long as it's running and the circuit's fixed, we should have a power supply ready to go. Missing, take a look at this diagram. It's a note on the bottom left about backup power. Configure the 4 circuit control panels to provide an uninterrupted path. Symbols must represent the room we're in. That square at the top's Shale's terminal, then the bottom right should be the generator Galulja's working on. Assuming these are our 4 tile patterns, the bottom right's a square and the top right is half a circle? That's something to get you started, at least. These appear to be data logs from a former age. My scholarly interest is piqued by a few of the labels, but none are relevant to the task at hand. I've also had no luck locating more security cards. We best have to rely on our backup power strategy, I'm afraid. Okay, so that's the generator, that's the terminal. Okay. So this one needs to be the square. Right? Yeah, square. And then this one needs to be the circle. Diamond. Oh, no, wait. There. That should work. Locked the power supply route and adjusted the current for optimal flow. Everything should be ready when you've configured the circuit. Okay, maybe I swap diamond and circle. Diamond and triangle, I mean. Triangle. There we go! It worked! We did it! Tural lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everyone. If I may, Shale, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the storage shelves, and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation, the early days is the title. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. Looks like it's a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation, an Alexandrian Institute for Technological Development, was founded by Calix, an 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing organization came during Alexandria's involvement in the Storm Surge, with Calix's designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As the conflict grew in intensity and casualties mounted, Calix funneled Preservation's resources towards the perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued even after the Storm Surge came to an end, with Calix eventually electing to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. This accounts from before he embraced his endless existence hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the Storm Surge began. I was attending my father, who was then the reigning king of Alexandria. Calix could not have been more than 10 years of age, and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness, yet he published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was fully aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to the injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was that when the war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought the death of both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports on endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calix was changing into. Did he change? I wonder. Perhaps he's ever been the type to value ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs. That mortality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from its fate. Whatever the case may be, we cannot let him, allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? If I've done my job correctly, the door to the Tural lab should be accessible now. I'll give everything a once-over just to be sure. Had his own body not been fated to fail him so young, would Calix have pursued his endless project with such fervor? Everything we read in this place sings Calix's praises. The people who worked here must have truly idolized him. That Alexandria survived the war was in no small part thanks to the defense measures developed by Preservation. In that regard, I shall always be grateful. The door has power now. The energy current seems stable enough. Still, you should let me handle this one. Security card, if you please. And a quick prayer that shorted wire doesn't burn me from the inside out. I'll get this door open. Smooth as silk. Let's head inside and see what awaits. Cutscene because I can't move. Yep. Gods above, isn't that... Key to interdimensional fusion? It looks to be a schematic on the monitor. And they use it to make another key, but it's missing the shard inside like the one missing has. We may have been laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malala relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power to cross dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that all the vessel's components were constructed here. So what might that tell us? That the crystal is that crystal in the side story that Azem gave to Hythlodaeus. The crystal itself is the key. That'd be the logical conclusion, yes. It's as my parents explained. The key remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electrope, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion. Not who embedded the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. Not who imbued the key with its power, not when they did so, nor why. It was Azem. It was Azem. It's a relic from Azem, because that's why it responds to us, and makes the Azem symbol. It responds to our Azem crystal. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because its vessel was made with preservation. I believe there's much more we may learn in this room. On our next visit, I'll have to enlist your Stolla's assistance for a thorough investigation. I too am curious about a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts is our priority. Hopefully, there is a security card in here that grants access to the director's office. The research conducted in this lab appears to have been highly confidential in nature. Some of its personnel must have belonged to the organization's upper echelons, and that means higher security clearance. We should spread out and look for any cards they left behind. Remember, anything less than a level 3 is no good to us. It was me! I did it! I just kind of forgot about it when my soul got sundered. Basically. Because, yeah, there's a side story that I didn't read it myself, but I saw like an excerpt because people were talking about it. There's a side story about Hythlodaeus talking about how Azem had come to visit him and left Hythlodaeus with a peculiar crystal that was designed to facilitate easy travel. And someone was like, oh, clearly that's just our Azem crystal. It's like, it can't have been, because Hades made that crystal. So this is something that Azem made. I don't know. They were... why are they making so many vessels? Did the other ones not work properly? Lone storage crate is filled with documents, binders, and other miscellaneous objects, none of which are security cards. If those cameras are anything to go by, this lab was under constant surveillance. I'll scan the recordings and try and spot where people left their security cards. Maybe we'll get lucky. I'll keep holding out hope that I'll find some evidence of my parents here, despite knowing there is none. Maybe someone left a card on a shelf somewhere. This sturdy-looking shelving unit holds storage crate and sealed barrels. No sign of any security cards. Find a security card in a cabinet drawer. Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's have Shale examine it to be sure. Well, if it isn't exactly what we needed. Nice work. Ooh, a level 3! That should get us into the director's office. So, was it what you were hoping to find? What was it you were hoping to find in there again, Shale? You were saying that a certain device was going to help us. Right, I haven't properly explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered this ostensibly abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection to an outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed the traffic from a web of Everkeep security cameras. Considering the way Calyx is always one step ahead of us, we must assume that he's quietly seized control of the city's surveillance system, and has been using it to monitor our activities. to monitor what you, the key holder, are planning. Again, we should just take the key. I agree with Ren. Take the key to the first. But since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him. Which is why I need the data relay. If I can analyze the device and see where it's routing all this surveillance traffic, then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. That said, he has done nothing to impede our progress, which makes me think I might be on entirely the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't. Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring missing strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than him? A simulant of me. A simulant of me. Speaking of cameras, there's another thing I meant to mention. I found evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was so crudely deleted. I was able to restore the data, though, if you'd like to see it. I'll start the show, then.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life, it's begun to frighten me. I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
Which is why she's leaving, because she doesn't agree with it.
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject. But I cannot. He and I are too different, in too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius. I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research. I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come.
I would take off my regulator if I was planning on leaving preservation. There's that bit where they talk.
Surely you...
Oh.
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exceptions.
Ah. Ooh, she's bleeding out. She only wanted to leave and he executed her. I checked the images against personnel data, and the man who pulled the trigger was Director Demetrius himself. Everything I could find on him pointed to a deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given that this recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from other researchers. I'm not surprised, given how my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through the portal even as Preservation's agents closed in on them. I dared not ask what became of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers... I mean, they were endless, so... They didn't regret their actions. Right, the Echo. Comforting you saw them as they were. Your words give me great comfort. Worry not, Sphene. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was at least able to meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It's enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and Preservation, but what we do know is that your mother and father clearly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the Director's office. Was Calyx the one who gave orders to execute defectors? The more we learn about him, the less I understand. I don't expect to find any information on my parents in this next room either, and that's something I can be proud of. My earlier investigations put the data relay just past this door. Let's get it open, shall we? The man in the recording was Director Demetrius. If the man in the recording was Director Demetrius, then this must be his office. Hearing Tural talk about her parents reminded me of how much I miss Namika. I guess I'll never really get over it. Let's head inside. Now to find that data relay. And don't be shy, everyone. Speak up if anything odd catches your eye. Come with me. I might have need of that security card. This Director Demetrius is very peculiar about how he decorated his office. We got incense and vases and some kind of gem display. Ruby, a sapphire. Why is it not symmetrical, Demetrius? Why is there a gem thing here, but none of... Okay. I dislike you already, Demetrius. There's a report on reducing people to ether and how much energy can be harnessed per individual. Oh, my apologies. I was thinking about the key. Something odd. Something odd. Also, yeah, there's one gem missing. Was that gem a Sphene, perhaps? Or a garnet? Damn, this terminal isn't connected to any outside networks, so it can't be the data relay I'm looking for. The office is also smaller than the map suggested. Positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Sorry, Missing. Could I ask you and the others to search the office for any clues to this infuriating puzzle? Crumpled up wedge between the file binders. Secure room lift access requires passwords to be put simultaneously at terminals in the Protolab, Deuterolab, and Director's office. Having lain dormant for years, the now active coffee maker has already entered a self-cleaning cycle. It appears to have no other purpose beyond brewing coffee, though it remains to be seen when it will be able to do so once more. Amongst the personal effects, you find what is presumably the Director's data tablet. A closed locker stands next to the table. Door swings open easily. Ah. Yeah. Contains nothing of note. You quietly shut the locked door. Okay, that's the correct response. Just no. Not dealing with that. I'm not going to deal with the fact that he has a billion pictures of an 11-year-old child genius inside of his locker. That's probably totally normal. You pick up the data tablet and skimming through the contents. Nothing of note. The mystery of the key's activation condition remains unsolved. The key triggered an explosion today. Temporary interdimensional portal verified. Continue attempts to stabilize the core's energy reactions. 13 researchers sustained fatal injuries in the explosion. Memory faculties of 4 personnel sufficiently intact for endless conversion. Remaining 9 designated for ether reclamation processing. Nothing of note. Rejected resignations of 2 Malala researchers. Major incident details in full report. Those 2 inept Malala broke with preservation and absconded with the key. Though the fugitives have since been caught and eliminated, we were too late to recover the relic. The only reason we retained our flesh was to serve Master Calyx as physical instruments to conduct his experiments. Deprived of the object of our research, our existence serves no further purpose. I dare not imagine the depths of his disappointment in me. The complex is to be shut down. All personnel will have their bodies reduced to ether, which will be allocated to further experimentation. Memory data will be archived. Any endless conversions will be subject to Master Calyx's discretion. If he does not deem us fit, we are not deserving of eternal life. All personnel have undergone processing. Once the shutdown protocols have been completed, I will proceed with my own corporeal dissolution. As long as the key remains in the physical world, we must keep this complex in pristine condition. Whether it be needed for experiments or otherwise, it must be ready to support future operations whenever, in whatever capacity Master Calyx requires. To that end, the facility equipment will be maintained in stasis mode. Furthermore, critical components for secure room access will be stored separately to defend against unauthorized entry. But we'll just talk about it on this tablet here. That'll be fine. Collection of soul cells may have once belonged to the director. They appear to be empty. Open the locker again. Just... It is... I just love the... That's somehow the creepiest thing that has been in this. Alright. Have you found something? Misplaced note, was it? The instructions for accessing a secure room, no less. Seems we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. This is such room marked on the map, was there? No, a precautionary measure, no doubt, and if passwords are involved, I expect the access lift is concealed too. Concealed? By electrope, you mean? Could it be that wall? I thought it seemed odd when I walked past. Remember what Kakiwa used to say, Shale? Never trust an electrope surface? You can pass right through electrope. Truly, it never had that property in my time. Missing something a little fun, I think. What he means is electrope can project a false appearance. In which case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door! Managed to deactivate the projection, but the lock's another story. Didn't the note lay out the password protocol? I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminals for input while the rest of us look for passwords here in the office. I'll take the proto-lab. I'll take the deutero-lab. Actually, it may be better if you stayed, Sphene. Your knowledge of Alexandria and its people could be more needed here. You're right. If the passwords are hiding behind clues, then maybe something I can help with. I can help too. I lived my whole life in Alexandria, after all. I'll take the Deutero lab duty then. We can keep in touch via communicator to match our timing. You shall have the honor of entering the office password. Once we've determined what we need to input, I'll take your place at this terminal. I'll stand by to guide Wilclamot and Krile throughout the process. You know, there was a display plate over there, one with gems. I thought since it was made of electrope, it might have some other purpose. But I couldn't find any switches or buttons to make it do anything. Maybe you can figure it out. It's missing 1 gem. which I'm assuming is a Sphene or a Garnet. Also, I'm going to run to the other labs because I'm going to assume that the gang is there and they have optional dialogue for me. This is the entrance. Understood, Shale, but first I need to find a stool or mayhap a sturdy box. Worth it. It was worth coming over here. Let's see characters' dialogue other than their quest dialogue. Switch to a class that can't participate in the quest. The quest icon will turn red and you can see their other dialogue. Interesting. So I just press this, and next is that one, right? Hey, this isn't so hard. No, I'm not. I don't need to take a look here. Two jewels are embedded in the electrode plate. You identify the blue gem as a sapphire. The red gem's a garnet. Okay, so that one must be a Sphene. A Sphene. Keep calm and everything will be fine. Both of you are quick studies. I keep searching in the drawers for the books and found a cube puzzle made of electrope. It's probably just a toy, but maybe. Solve the puzzle. Move this bit and connect the circuit to that one. There! There's something inside. It's a pretty green stone. I think it might be an Alexandrite. See, these gems are so treasured in the past that they named the kingdom after them. You should hold on to this one just in case. She could look a close look at these reports. One of them might have hints to the passwords. The gemstones fit snugly into place. Okay, that's why it's slightly off-center. The glowing lines of a diagram appear on the display, accompanied by a short phrase. The floor plan of the complex? So you continue studying the display, you realize that these shapes correspond to the rooms of the complex in which you now stand. This may be related to the passwords you were looking for. This floor contains an Alexandrite. It's in place of the floor corresponds to the director's office. This is a sapphire. It's the protolab. This is a garnet. Deuterolab. Glowing words appear to be handwritten. I knew the jewel will come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones. It must be about the special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an old belief, I think, where each type of gem means something different. I bet if you ask Sphene, she could tell you more about it. After all, even her name comes from a gemstone. You have questions you only ask. Symbolism of Alexandrite. Well, I was taught that Alexandrite represents the concept of protection. It's incidentally also the origin of Alexandria's name. Oh, were you thinking this has something to do with the passwords? A sapphire and a garnet as well, you say? Yes, they all have meanings. Alexandrite is protection, sapphire represents honesty, and garnet symbolizes devotion. We should try those words at the terminals and see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we're right. We're all set to go here. Wooklamot and Kryler just waiting on their passwords. Start with Wooklamot in the Protolab. What should she enter? Ah, shit. Fuck. Okay. Alexandrite's protection. Sapphire's honesty. Garnet is devotion. Garnet is devotion. Deuterolab. Okay. So it's honesty in the Protolab, devotion in the Deuterolab, protection in this. Okay. Protolab, honesty. Deuterolab is devotion. And Director's Office is protection. Oh, I'm glad that worked. I did see people people showing off that that you can show them the minion. I didn't do it myself, but I've seen that it's a cutscene that happens. Secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If the data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture as soon as Wicklemont and Crowell rejoin us. Did it, thanks to you, and a little bit thanks to me, I hope. Great work. I'll leave it to you to divine passwords from an ornamental display. Speaking of gemstone symbology, for Alexandria, Sphene holds the meaning of eternal light. When my parents named me, it was their wish that I become an unwavering beacon of hope for our people. To think on it now, I have ever shared that destiny with my other self. Well, that went well. Excellent clue finding. Time to board the lift and see what awaits us.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is. But whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form. These data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether. They become much like solid ghosts that one can see and touch. The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
The Endless are memories. And if memories are data, then...
In a world formed of data? Kingdom Hearts?
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso terminal.
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in Living Memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Sphene's body in stasis. Be that as it may, We face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect a sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the meso-terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it once already when I visited Living Memory. The process required administrative authorization, a restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the Keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the key holder's movements.
I really love the idea of just taking the key back to the first. Now that you brought it up, it just sounds like it's the biggest fuck you.
And what a waste of time it's been. Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
So we don't bring the key with us. We go to the first, give it to Anumu,
And
come
if
back.
we
Like,
refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
put the key on the moon.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Sphene. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
He pours salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine. Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future, and the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key.
Because I fucked up, yeah.
I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, Not one more future. Not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me? Sorry for losing my temper, but there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx.
Beat the shit out of him.
Whatever grand future he envisions, someone will be made to pay the price.
Calyx is why we should bring back bullying.
And I won't let that happen.
This is what happens when you let nerds be nerds. He's wrong if he thinks he's taken our measure.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Oh, that was an adventure. It may not have been the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed, and while I remain curious about Preservation's research into the key, that's an investigation for another day. Let's head straight back to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. Situation isn't the best out there, but at least you've come back to us safe and sound. It's time to put an end to this. Calyx won't stop until we stop him. I've passed on the short version of events to our comrades, so we can all prepare for the challenge ahead. If my other self who entrusted you with the key, though she could not change who she was, the consequences of her final choice linger, empowering us to shape our own future. Shale has been a bit out of sorts ever since we got back. I don't think she liked what Calyx said, but don't worry, I'll do my best to cheer her up. What about you, Gnolt? Don't be letting up now, you hear? Let your passion carry you to the bitter end. Thank you, Gnolt. Damn that bastard Calyx. You waited until I was this close before snatching away my moment of triumph. That is kind of annoying that we went through all of those puzzles and he just like, actually, I'm here, idiots. That infuriating, condescending way he spoke to us. We'll see whose time is up, you smug little weasel. Anyway, I know things didn't go to plan, but we learned a great deal about preservation. That knowledge could come in handy in the days to come. Though I may not be able to contribute much to a direct confrontation, I mean to see this through with you all, providing whatever support I can. We've briefed Erenville on everything that's happened and sent word to the others. We've now but to consider what our next actions will be. Calyx has offered you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels much like striding face first into an ambush, we've little choice. If we are to destroy the memories he supposedly has stored in the upper reaches of the Meso terminal, then that's where we must go. While I'm still upset at being deprived of my moment, I nevertheless did my due diligence. I can confirm that the relay we found was indeed transmitting surveillance data to a device somewhere in living memory. When you go fight Calyx, pray let me fight alongside you. Let me fight for the memory of Otis and Zelenia, and for the other Sphene I may have become, but most importantly for my beloved kingdom, and a joyful tomorrow. It's always been your fight as much as ours, if not more. If she gets to be in the duty support, I'm going to absolutely be doing duty support. I know I've been doing like actual people, but if Sphene gets to actually fight with us, I'll be excited. I'll be coming with you as well. You know my reasons. Hate the nihilism was some type of villain. These guys decided that they were okay with dying someday, therefore murdering them isn't a crime. Yep. It hardly needs saying, but your fellow Scions also have every intention of accompanying you into battle. So adamant were Alice and the others at this point that they have already left for living memory, and I'm more than ready to do the same. We'll keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble, especially from anyone wearing neo-regulators. Should you need anything from me, I'll be on standby here in the back room. I really want to go with you too, but I know I can't. I know that sometimes you have to be patient and trust in your friends. Oh, missing. Kral and I think that we should talk to Gosan before we leave for living memory. Under Calix's direction, Preservation's helped shape Alexandria's society for centuries. Taking him down will have some serious consequences, and we need to warn the officials in charge about what we intend. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly. We don't know if Gosan will approve or oppose our chosen course. But either way, leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Come, we shall be on our way. Resolution first, yes? Be safe, everyone. We'll see you when it's over. I don't think I'm going to be finishing this MSQ. I got 1 hour left. I see Gosan's wearing a neo-regulator. He'll have some thoughts on share on the subject, I wager. Government officials must be fielding demands from all quarters. I do not envy Gosan in this position. The air is thick with a sense of unease, not least around Gosan himself.
I see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not Preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation.
I mean, technically speaking, Glulja's your official
I
sovereign.
also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calix.
He's murdering people!
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance. My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option. And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating endless will, paradoxically, make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course.
Why will it?
It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless.
It's already utterly meaningless.
Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn? Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
Okay, I have this game called Endwalker that you should play.
We stop begging others to teach us for a start. For the longest time, we've been protected by Queen Sphene and the systems put in place by our forebears. The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts, even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them. The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Also, why are some of you still wearing regulators if this is what your vibe is?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down. We came together and thought about how we could help.
Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
Yeah, she's blind, isn't she?
On the other hand, now that we might be qualified to do something about.
I think that's the blind Viera.
We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Gossen, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, it falls to the government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is. No, that wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Sphene.
Lamity, you used her name.
Oh yeah, were we calling? I forget. Were we actually calling her Dagger?
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sphene has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are, that must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
Good. You will return. I don't want you to die. I want you to join the Scions, and I want you to be a summoner. I want to get through at least the dungeon. I at least want to do the dungeon today, even if I can't do the trial. Glad we were able to hear the will of the Alexandrian people. Now it falls to us to see it through. Striker! Remember me, the hunter from the Thunderyard? It's been a while, but we met when you first arrived in the dome. We've been talking with Lathander and the others, and thanks to some very convincing arguments, we've come around to the idea that we need to start taking responsibility for the future of our nation. There are those like us who rely on our regulators for work, and others who aren't quite ready to give up what they have, but we all share a desire to make things better. Sphene must be overjoyed to be welcomed by our countrymen. For their sakes, we need to bring her back safely. It's a relief to be freed from my indecision. Until I had to remove my regulator, I hadn't quite realized how heavy it weighed upon me. Everyone was so warm and welcoming. Alexandrians are, as ever, a stalwart people. How glad I am to be home. Thank you, Gosan. That decision must have been difficult to make. If only I could claim the courage to do so came from within. The final push came from Alexandria's citizens, and the bravery in taking the first step towards change. Speaking of which, can I ask you to lock the Neo-Regulator away where no one can get to it? That should prevent the registrations from reaching the target number. I should be glad to do so, but I fear it will be to no avail. According to our most recent surveys, the number of Neo-Regulators in circulation exceeds the stated 5,000. I surmise the surplus in units are to account for those like myself who had a change of heart and are otherwise hesitant to register. That does sound like something Calyx would do. Well, we'll have to face him either way. No point in delaying the inevitable. On to living memory.
Things seem much the same.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
Yeah. Her outfit's nice, actually. I'm curious what that top was. The friends! The boyfriend is here! And also this Aura woman. And this man. Hi, Alphino. It's good to rejoin you all. I needed to step away briefly, that I might make arrangements for a certain precautionary measure. I've been so busy, it seems like an age since we last gathered in such a manner. I must say, we do make for a formidable group. Is there 8 people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Conveniently 8 people for, I don't know, a trial maybe? Last time I had to wait in that cenote, but there's nothing to stop me from joining this fight. I'd scarcely awakened here when I fell unconscious. Now that I can fully enjoy the gentle silence of this place, it brings a tear to my eyes. It seems Alphino and Alice were the ones who explained to Kona our need to enter the cenote. He urged us to be extremely careful, of course. Tis good to see our comrades hale and gritted for battle. As for us, we've been ahead to inspect the lay of the land. There were no changes of note, aside from the Meso terminal itself. Why? What happened to the Meso terminal? The wall is receded to provide a convenient entrance to the structure's interior. That there was no such ingress when we last were here. There was no such ingress when we last were here, so we must assume that Calyx has since manipulated the terminal's electrope. All to facilitate his most gracious invitation to the upper levels. An invitation I'm eager to accept. For the sake of all who love Alexandria, I will not yield nor leave them to despair. Aim, I guess. Believe everyone's determined to be here is present and accounted for. Shall we make our way to the terminal? We wouldn't wish to keep our insistent host waiting. Yeah, let me go to the first and give Anumu the key. Oh, cutscene? Cutscene time? Oh no, I can move. Oh, I see. There's now a hole. An endless existence for the evolution of mankind. I understand what he strives for, but not what drives him to do so with such ruthlessness. I mean, he was gonna die. He had a terminal illness. Gave him some trauma. It hadn't occurred to me that one might physically enter the terminal, although I suppose it makes sense when you think about it. A structure for creating Endless would have required maintenance administered by corporeal hands. When we shut down all the minor terminals, we watched as the Endless faded away. I do not believe that was a performance staged to deceive us. As for the Meso terminal, however, it had already grown dark by the time we had returned from the virtual domain. While I'm loath to admit it, it is possible that its true appearance was hidden from us in our absence, which is why we must bring this tale to its denouement by our own hands. I remember little of my own awakening. The paralysis yet lingered. My eyes could barely focus. Living memory is steeped in dense light and ether of the ninth. This pervasive energy must be what the terminal utilizes as a power source. Hang on. Come back here, Edgar. Thank you. Alice. Edgar, can you move? I'm chatting with Alice. This is where the former queen's memories were stored, and she herself tried to erase them. Even as an Endless, her resolve was so strong that she would kill her heart to become the cold machine she believed she needed to be. Well, here we are again, facing another battle to decide Alexandria's fate. For 4 centuries I slept here. Upon awakening, I found the world as I knew it had changed. I was so frightened at first, I couldn't recognize a single thing and thought everything I loved had gone to dust. Yet beneath the unfamiliar surface, much has remained the same. For that, I give thanks to Otis and Zelenia and the Royal Knights, who lay their lives on the line to defend our way of life. I thank every Alexandrian who believed in our future and passed our legacy. I thank my other self, who so loved this kingdom of ours. And I thank you all for kindling this hope in my heart, this courage to take up arms and fight once more. So let's make our stand together and fight for what we hold dear. Oh, the Alexandria theme. The kind and gentle Queen Sphene was too weak to serve her people, and so she will serve them no more. Freed from conscience, I shall become a ruler that can protect Alexandria, a devourer of worlds. We'll rise to the challenge that the endless Sphene could not. And we shall. Our wish to see Alexandria endure is one I'm happy to fulfill. Let's head inside and finish this. In the upper reaches of the terminal awaits the device which holds Calix's memories. It falls to us to make the climb and destroy it once and for all. Aye, we must bring matters to a definitive end. We will not suffer him to cause Alexandria any further harm, nor claim the key. The Queen entrusted it to Missing for good reason, and besides, 'twould be a tragedy indeed to relinquish a relic with so much research potential. Again, we shouldn't bring it with us. Apparently, Calix thinks he's taken your measure. I urge you to correct that misguided assumption. I wholeheartedly concur, yet would still counsel caution. That he would be so bold as to extend this invitation bespeaks tremendous confidence in his preparations. Look, there was a robot. There was a space robot that also thought he evaluated my measure, and he was entirely wrong, so... Come, friends, we set forth into the midst of a dreaming endless. I love the Alexandria theme, also. This is probably one of my favorite dungeon themes. Yes, okay, Sphene can join us. Alexandria of today has seen countless lives come and go. My other self took their grief and fear and rage upon herself in service to our kingdom. Around me are gathered those willing to give it all to fulfill the purpose they made to her. How can I do any less? Alexandrians must be free to believe that the more sadness awaits them, that tomorrow, that more than sadness awaits them, that tomorrow can be a better than today. I really do think that you take on too much from too many people, and yet it's never the wrong choice. The Queen gave you the key for a reason, so I'll be damned if I let Calix steal it. Calix's scheme to forfeit flesh to gain immortality calls to mind the Ea. Not that informing him of their fate would do much to dissuade him. Convinced so you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire. Such was my reply to the Ea's warnings, so I know a little something of refusing to listen, save when confronted with the incontrovertible proof of my error. That is worth it. As much as there are people who are like, oh, you should just tell him that he's trying to do the same thing these ghosts did in space. Y'shtola did also hear exactly everything that was wrong with what they thought, and also was like, that's bullshit and I don't care. This vow of resolve, or even as just a comrade, I see myself making a lot of promises. I mean to honor every last one of them, starting with the oath I swore to the Endless Sphene. Even if it's just a memory, I want to think of her smiling at that promise I kept. You don't even go to the moon or the first, just ape-right literally any other continent. Yes, really. It's beyond knowing how Calix has advanced his plans for endless conversion for the past 400 years. I do know, however, that pursuing an objective for lengthy spans requires an unyielding will, especially when that objective entails changing the world as we know it. Calyx is a foe possessed both considerable focus and resolve. We would do well to recognize him as such. My parents were indeed executed by preservation. For me, this will not only be a fight for the greater good, this will be justice. If I am to add an amendment to grandfather's account of the Golden City, then let it be a rousing good one, eh? We have no idea what Calyx may have planned for us. Alice and I have prepared for every eventuality, and yet still. Nay, you must be free to lead the charge unhindered by doubt. Let's press onwards, we shall guide the flanks. Alright, please tell me that Sphene has a DPS option. Sphene is DPS! Excellent, and we bring in the boyfriend. Okay. Zoomancer. She's a Zoomancer. Sure. Whatever that means. Let's go. Should I have Wuklamot? Is there another tank option? Just the boyfriend? Let's bring Wuklamot. Wuklamot needs to join us. I feel like she needs to be here for the story. Oh, hang on. The durability of one or more pieces of my gear is noticeably low. Let's, Is there a man? There's a repairman over here. Calyx means something. Hello, repair unit. Fix my gear, please. I really hope the fact that Sphene can join us in the party means that she does stay a duty trust character. I want her to be part of the Scions. I want her to be part of the Scions so bad. I am curious. If I were to remove Graha and swap in... I can't. She's just DPS. She's not even a scholar. Okay. Excellent. Alright, let's go. It is taking a while to load in here. I'm a little concerned about how long it's taking to load in here. Guys, I have a half hour. Can I please load into this dungeon? Up, here we go. Okay, cool. This place seems bigger on the inside. Later, Ren. Thanks for hanging out.
Begin by wearing you down.
Go for a big pull. Look, Lamont, you got this, right? Look. What is preservation's purpose? Oh shit, I forgot to go back and check that data log at the front. The answer to that question is simple. To ensure the survival of mankind. In a world beset by lightning aspected imbalance, this means securing a place where people may live in safety, as well as establishing a treatment for the Levin sickness which plagues us. Many approaches were considered, but in the end, it was a child, a youth of undeniable genius, who discovered the most brilliant and complete solution to all the challenges we now face.
Created new endless for you. Not all are warriors, but they will follow orders. Kill and survive and so forth. Here, I shall prepare the stage for battle.
I wonder. The map, if I walk back this way, the map is totally transformed, but if I walk back this way, does it... Okay. Oh, you're still alive.
The memories of a physician. One who saves lives should be reluctant to die.
You force a healer to fight us? It's gonna be a push. I fucked up.
You've overburdened the system. No matter, it served its purpose.
According to Master Calyx, it's not the body which provides life to a being, but the soul. Furthermore, when the memory is etched upon that ephemeral giver of existence, furthermore, the memory is etched upon that ephemeral giver of existence which encapsulates one's true self. Based upon these principles, it is proposed that a methodology for preserving souls using electric technology. As souls are comprised entirely of ether, he asserts that storage via contemporary means should be eminently possible. Experiments conducted on criminal subjects and volunteers have in fact already proven successful in capturing the ether released at the moment of death. Mankind as we know it has taken a great leap forward. I'll wait till Phoenix wears off. Hey gang. Friends? Can you get over here? Wuklamot doesn't want to do a big pull, and that's kind of bugging me. Lamati, get over here. Use your mitts. My husband is here protecting you. Don't worry about big pulls.
Next, we visit a prison of sinister repute. I need not compel them to fight. These are loyal executioners. They shall deal appropriately with criminals. Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it?
Oh, go for it, Sphene! Yeah!
Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Oh, interesting. Ah, fuck. Ah, once again. Sphene, Graha, you both have reses. It should not be up to me to keep the party alive. Oh, I see. Blue, red, and two. Okay.
How long can you defy it?
Oh wait, I need my lad.
Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Am I supposed to destroy that generator? I feel like I'm supposed to destroy that generator.
Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it? Criminals may run,
Oh.
but they cannot escape.
I thought it was always going to be the other guy. Okay. Yes, I do in fact destroy this. What the fuck? I was destroying it! I had even less time that time!
Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it?
Not that long, apparently.
Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Alright, there we go. I got that down. Oh god. Graha? Graha, please? Okay, Graha has me. so much. Stop that. I don't want any more of this bullshit. Okay. Okay. Ah! Shit. Fuck. No! Oh, I hate this boss fight. I don't rather like this boss fight. I rather don't like this boss fight. Oh, I need my lad.
How long can you defy it?
Alright, who's grabbing me? Which nerd's grabbing me? One of them is...
Criminals may run, but they cannot escape.
Okay.
Something special for you.
Ah, fuck.
Just the beginning. Hold on.
There, thank you. Okay, these next. Like that. Okay. Alright, alright. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, I was the last one out.
Good. I bid you continue on.
Mama T, will you please? Oh god, oh god. Don't kill. Fuck! Girl, can you please, like, do a big pull? Graha's got you. He doesn't have me, because I'm a squishy. Okay. So let's just... You take them. And I'll do my best to pull... There. Now get back over here, get back over here. We'll take them. We're doing big pulls here. I saw you tank an entire, like, kaiju mecha arm. You're fine. You can take a gang of robots. I don't need to be saving my, I'm already not really saving my, Swift Cast for reses, but given the NPCs are doing a decent job of not dying. We succeeded in transferring this soul stored within a specialized electronic device into a mechanical soldier, resulting in full control and function. No longer need we fear the erosion which lightning energies inflict upon flesh and blood bodies. Yet, despite this crucial breakthrough, Master Calyx remains unsatisfied. He would divorce memory from soul, siphoning the soul's ether reserves, whilst granting eternal life to the individual's memories. Unfettered to a soul, memories can not only be stored, but also backed up as data. The Endless will be beings of pure information. His foreshortened lifespan was perhaps the very perspective needed to conceive of such a unique evolutionary path.
Memories from an age rife with death. The desperation will serve well. The enemy is at the gate. To arms, good soldiers, protect your kingdom.
Hello. Oh fuck. Wooklamat! Wooklamat, get over here. We almost got our limit break. There we go. Excelente. This is why we do big pulls, Wook. Gotta be going to work soon. We gotta finish up this fast. Check the coffer. Alright, final boss.
Very well. If one by one they fall, I'll send them all as one. Recall the anguish you felt when you faced death, and rise. Rise to defend your nation, your people, and your loved ones.
Is this Necron? Memory meld. The immortal remains. Okay.
Rise and meet the foe before you. An amalgam of memories. Let us see how it fares. It is the midst of the storm surge. Countless lives are lost in the senseless conflict. War swells in scope and intensity. Rain down without pause or mercy. The spark of life is dimmed with every blinding flash. Death is everywhere, forging the promise of the future.
Oh shit! Graha, can I get some heal? Thank you. Thank you, boyfriend. As we have discussed, I am the most important member of the party. If I die, the game is— oh! Fuck! Okay, well— I have to be at work now, and I don't want to redo that entire fight again, and then I have a cutscene to deal with. So, unfortunately, we are actually just going to wrap up here. Unfortunately. I would like to finish this and go and see what the fuck the final trial is, but, can't. So, we'll do that next time. Let's see. Who can we toss things over to? Oh, that person's doing Juno. So next time we can wrap up the MSQ, and then we got Juno and Hildebrand to do still also, so that's good. Let's go raid its Red Z, because they're doing...
Anyone know the keybind to get those back up?
Nope. Chat. Okay. We're gonna go red. We're going to go raid twitch.tv/itsredztv. If you're on YouTube, that's where we're headed. A raid message you found the missing persons. Thanks for hanging out with me. I might be live tonight, because I want to finish this story, so I can't be spoiled on it. So thanks for hanging out. I will maybe see you in like 8 hours, 8-9 hours after.